Yeah, that advantage was
And
clutch.
we
It was
are live.
definitely a group effort.
Hello.
Hi.
We're reminiscing from Monday.
Oh,
Yes.
the triple 20s.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was Fox's luck for the next year.
That was my entire D&D career's luck in that
I mean,
one session.
Honestly,
given how many times me died, yeah.
honestly, probably a good point to have used that luck on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly not complaining. If it never happens again, I'm happy it happened when it did.
Yeah, that risk that you took, if you would have rolled a 1, that would have ended the campaign.
Damn.
Yes.
That wouldn't have been a good ending. That was the bad ending.
That would be bad ending.
Bad ending.
That would be
That's
bad
a
ending.
very bad ending.
Oh, this continent over here. What continent doesn't exist anymore?
Doesn't exist.
So about that campaign 4 we were talking about.
I mean, I did that as a solution to my problems in campaign 1, and look how it turned out. So I don't really want to destroy entire continents and planes again in order to get rid of my problems.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
incorrectly
celestial plane.
incorrectly word a wish?
Yeah,
That was good.
yeah.
I mean,
Kill the
Tickles did the
entire
same
party
thing.
except myself. That didn't feel good.
Pickles did
No.
the same thing.
Well-
Remember how he said, I wish everyone, like, something along the lines of, like, I wish everyone, except for the people in this tent, like, died or something like that.
Yep.
Something like that, yeah.
And, like, we found out, like, pretty much the whole world was dead until we were able to reverse it, but we're like, what the fuck?
Careful what you wish for,
Dangerous
kids.
thing.
Yep.
I don't know what to talk about. Everything's fine.
Yeah, you got a perfectly usable carriage just sitting in the observatory now.
Yeah.
That's true. At
we
the
have
very
a better
least,
one.
At the very least, we can, sell it, make some money.
It's
Yeah,
the cost
I
of a
mean,
wish.
your
$50
Wizzies, you might
for
need the
it.
money. Look.
Girl, I'm gonna start needing to buy like higher level spells too, so yeah, that's gonna be costly.
Well, you know
I-
who to come talk to when you need a loan.
I'm still really
True.
concerned about when that artificer finally asks for her payment. Because I made all these promises without telling
Mhm.
anybody that I'm poor. I have no money.
Well, that's
So-
okay. I have
Shocker.
all the money. I have
Shocker.
all the money. Just come find Alani.
I will.
I
Need
have
to
so
take
many
out a
gems.
loan, Nalani, please.
I have like all like those necklaces we got. They're worth 2,000 gold each. I got those. I got like 44 gems. I have a ton of money. So just come find me.
I would like to open an account at the Bank of Nalani, please.
So,
She doesn't have
No,
anything to
that's
spend
my
it on.
bank. How dare you?
last time we left
Anyways.
off, everyone was still trying to take in what sort of happened to Grandpa Goldspar. His corpse sort of mangled and displayed for the entire world to see out on the front lawn, as a ill-advised teleport spell sort of flung him into a protective barrier that was around the house. After gathering your wits about you, some of you set off to explore the rest of the mansion, while Jenka went outside to check over the body. And what Jenka found was a small imp trying to get away with a sack full of coins and other valuables that were on Pearl's grandfather when he died. After a bit of a back and forth with this imp, who you learned was named Codger, Codger was introduced as, well, now Pearl's servant, as Pearl is now in possession of the Spark of Genius, and with the spark comes Codger's faithful service to a T. This didn't really make Jenka happy, as Jenka hates anything devil or demonic, and pretty much instantly barred him from the ship.
Yeah.
Codger is a good boy. Yes, he is. So Codger has, for the time being, been given the task to clean the house and make it presentable because it is not in a presentable state at the moment. So much that there were bodies that were just tucked away down in the basement after Grandpa the Gold Spar told Codger to kill everyone and then just to dispose of the bodies in the basement. Not really wanting a haunted house or anything of the like, the group descended down into the basement to find that the bodies were missing, with a tunnel that had been seemingly dug through the cellar wall into an adjoining cave, to say. Inside you found a couple ghouls and a rather terrifying looking creature. Very large, very robust, the gaping maw of just rows of razor sharp teeth. Teeth that during combat decapitated Echo. While everybody was trying to, after the fight, while everybody was trying to determine how exactly they were going to reanimate Echo. Some talks about fishing line being used to sew her head back to get back onto the neck. There was a rather strange orb and a book left on an altar behind where this large creature had originally been standing. Inside this orb, Echo saw the entire fight go down and noticed that there were quite a few wandering souls in the orb as well, but they looked lost. Looked almost comatose. As the fight came to an end and Cannonball picked up both the orb and the book, a voice called out to Nalani, offering her a chance to return to life. He had to do was walk through a door. Not a lot of questions that she asked were answered from this individual. Just repeating that if she wanted to live, she would have to walk through the door. Which she did, which caused the book itself to begin to bleed over, spilling on the floor, and in turn reanimating I almost said Nalani, Echo. And as we pick up today, about 5 minutes have passed since this whole ordeal. Echo, you feel, aside from not being able to feel your heartbeat, you just don't feel right. But you can't really put your finger on it. You don't know if this is just a side effect of dying and then coming back to life, or or maybe it's because your heart isn't beating. But there's something else with you that just feels alien.
I think right now she's chalking it up to the fact that her head was decapitated and then put back on.
And as Echo, you are reanimated, there is now like just like a full ring scar around your neck where the teeth had bit in and severed.
It's pretty cool.
What the hell just happened?
Don't know, but I feel like I could really just... I need a nap. Tired.
Yeah, no shit. Cannonball, what the hell happened with that book?
Matey, do I look like I know what I'm doing?
Fair.
Didn't say I asked what you're doing. I said what happened.
Again, matey, sorry, Captain. I don't know. I opened it. I did not do any incantations. I didn't say anything. It just did its thing.
What's did its thing?
Well, clearly pissed blood everywhere, and somehow that brought Echo back.
Wait, what?
Not see anything, Captain.
The book was like covered in blood, or was it
Leaking
actually
it, leaking it
bleeding?
like a fountain.
What the hell?
I'm assuming it has to do with this orb thingy too, but I'll have to study them a little bit before I know what's going on.
You think it had something to do with that? Can I
Well,
see it?
No. Not until I know what it is. Had enough cursed objects and witch books and other weird things brought aboard.
And
Can have
then
it
so
after.
it's bring it aboard. I just wanted to take a look at it.
Sure. We'll show it to you.
More reach out to take it from him so I can take a look at it.
He'll hold it in front of you so you can inspect it and look at it, but he's not letting go of it.
Even with him not letting go, she'll grab a hold just to like turn it around so she can look at it from different angles.
Oh yeah, but he's still keeping his hands on it.
You reach out and
Yeah.
you touch this orb. There's almost a bit of like a spark, like you just got shocked from touching something after like dragging your feet across the carpet. There's just like this sudden shock,
The static shock.
a static shock that comes as you touch the orb, and as you do, it pretty much collapsed to dust in Cannonball's hand.
And now you understand why I say don't touch the artifacts until I know what they are. Whatever.
Obviously, it wasn't an artifact, otherwise it wouldn't have crumbled. Maybe it used up whatever magic mumbo jumbo it had bringing me back.
Didn't crumble until you touched it, matey. That's all I'm gonna say. Next time, leave the magic stuff to the magic peoples.
She's just gonna give him a look of seriously,
Aye.
and just
Says
walk
the
away.
person who said he
First
didn't know
mate,
what was
matey.
happening.
First mate, matey. Hierarchy exists for a reason.
And yet you didn't know what it was doing.
Well, now we're not gonna find out, are we, Captain?
No.
So now, unless anybody has any objections, I'm keeping this book until I figure out what it is.
You mean the pile of ash?
Oh, the orb's the ash. The book should still be okay from what I've understood, unless both the book and the orb collapsed.
So I got the book in your hand.
Aye. Well, it's staying in me hands, and I'm keeping it away from Echo lest she dusts it too.
The temptation to poke the book is strong.
Do it, see what happens.
I got sleight of hand. You never see it
Please
coming.
don't. Please no.
Do you touch the book?
Oh, I'm gonna flip a coin. Yeah, we're gonna touch the book.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it without him seeing. I'm gonna try to do it without
Give
him
me
seeing it.
a
Though.
sleight of hand roll. Cannonball, what is your passive perception?
Let me pull it up.
That's an 18 for me.
Oh, that's gonna be above my passive one.
Okay. So as the conversation between Jenka and Cannonball's going on, you sort of just reach out with just a finger and you poke the book.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to add a spell to your character sheet.
What?
We're going to bed. No, we're going to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What spell am I adding?
Bestow disease.
Well, now that's not right.
And what do I use? I'll look it up. If I was to cast a spell, what is there? A ability modifier I have to add to it or anything like that?
At this point in time, I'm gonna say the DC save is going, for this specifically, is going to be 16.
Okay. Thank you.
And for bestow disease, you can cast this once a day. And what it will do is it's a touch attack, of course, but it will force the target to make a Constitution saving throw. And if they fail, they basically have a disease placed on them. The disease itself, it will cause them to make all physical ability checks or skill checks at disadvantage. And at every 24 hours, they need to roll another Constitution saving throw. If they fail, the disease gets stronger, causing levels of exhaustion, up until 3 failures. At the 3rd failure, that creature dies.
Okay. Curious.
You want your horse?
If they make a saving throw, the disease will regress 1 stage. Meaning they have to continuously make the saving throws to regress it to a stage 0 to be cured of the disease. Now, if you do not use this spell once a day, you gain a level of the disease.
Oh God.
Just find a bunny somewhere. Find a fish. Just find a fish.
I'm a fish.
There's going to be so many random small creatures that just die.
And Echo can tell that from when she touched it and got the spell.
Yes, Echo knows
Okay.
all of this.
Okay.
You can cast it once a day, and you must cast it once a day. Or you take a stage of the disease, and something far worse than death happens to you if you fail 3.
I had a feeling.
Obviously completely unaware of that, though. Cannonball is going to reiterate and say, now nobody touches the cursed artifacts until I've had a look at them. Are we clear?
And I will say this book still intact.
Good.
You'll get an eye roll from Echo as she just casually walks away.
Yeah. She casually walks away, realizing deep down, maybe I done fucked up. I'm kidding. Anyway, moving on.
Little bit.
First mate says something, there's usually a reason. If he's old, right now,
It's fine. He was just full of himself. I had to touch it anyway.
it's not a matter of full of himself. It's if
Look,
I'm
Echo doesn't like being told what to
reason.
do. Echo doesn't like being told what to do.
That is why people die.
Don't tell me what to do. Is bestow disease from a book, or is it something from you? Okay.
Not from 5th
Just checking.
edition.
Okay. Just checking. And what level spell is it?
It is a level 1 spell.
Okay. I will get that added to my character sheet.
Does that consume a spell slot then, or no?
No.
I don't have spell slots.
I have an important question because it'll probably come up and Gilly will want to know. Can she cast it on the same target multiple days in a row?
Yes. And it progresses the disease a stage.
What school
Even
of
if
magic
they-
is it?
What school of magic? Necromancy.
Okay. I had a feeling. So I can just keep doing it to the same person. Okay, that's
Yes, you
great.
can.
Is it an action, bonus action?
It's an action. Because it's a touch attack spell, so it's an action.
Oh yeah. assuming no material component. Is it verbal and somatic, or just verbal, or
Just touch.
just touch? Okay.
You're a monk, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you got a ways to go before you're immune to disease, so
Yes.
you've
I
got a
do.
plague to spread.
Are there some creatures that would be resistant to something like this?
You don't know. The only
Okay,
the only person who knows that this spell is even a thing at the moment is Echo.
Right. I'm just wondering from that perspective, though, if she cast it on something and it didn't stick, would she know? And then does she have to cast it on something else, or?
You can only cast it once a day.
So even if it fails, it's a casting.
Even if it fails, it's a casting.
Oh, okay. I guess that's okay, because it does have a DC to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. The requirement is she has to cast it on something or someone. Has to be a living creature. And
Can't
if
be a tree.
I can think of someone to cast it on.
trees are technically living, as long as there's life to it and you cast it, if it succeeds or fails, doesn't matter. You still met the prerequisite. You will not take the disease tick for that day if you fail, if they make their saving throw.
I'd just like to point out that Codger is immortal, but a living creature.
But he's not allowed on the ship, so.
Poor Codger, Jesus.
Yeah,
like,
Boy,
you know,
he's just here trying to
I
like
get
do
some,
his
I get
job
something
and
nice,
everything.
and everybody wants to do horrible things to
Yeah,
it.
the
I
poor
don't want to do
boy,
that,
I can't
Codger,
help
but
those
just
things.
pointing it out.
poor boy is just here trying to do his job, and everyone's like, "Yeah, let's bestow diseases on him. Let's just kill him."
Look, I didn't say I was going to do it.
He's not allowed
It
to
was
play
just a
any
thought that popped
reindeer
in my head.
games.
He's busy cleaning the mansion.
That's what he gets for being a little slave.
I mean, even then, though, that only solves your problem for what, 2-3 days tops?
Well,
he can't-
no, but
he
I
can't
mean,
die.
if I just tell him that he's the caretaker of the mansion, that's like a long-term full-time job. You know, whether there's somebody there or not, it's his responsibility just to kind of hang out and watch out and be the guard and mow the lawn, whatever, plant flowers, whatever. I'm sure he can keep busy. Pearl's a purser. She has no end of trivial tasks she can assign.
Here's the list of 500 things that have to be done every day.
Thing like that.
And Codger would do them all with a smile.
Poor Codger.
Do you realize that
We just
that
gotta
man could end up in better homes than mansions?
Better gnomes than what now?
Right, so after you clear out, after this whole ordeal with the collapsing orb and the book bestowing a rather terrible spell on Echo, what are y'all doing?
Cannonball's gonna put that book away somewhere nice and tight and make sure that it's, properly bundled up and tied up and everything up that you can think of right now. And make sure that it's properly wrapped in cloth or something and then shoved away in his pack.
All right.
Just let a hand steal the book. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm not doing that.
And when we get back to the ship, you and I are going to have a little chat because that book's going to be put away somewhere nice and secure.
I don't know what it has to do with me. I did nothing.
I did nothing
Oh, it's
wrong.
not that. It's not that. This has nothing to do with you, Echo. This is because we've had other people who have snuck books of the magical nature aboard the ship uncontrolled before, and as Cannonball has been made aware of that fact, he is now being extra nitpicky and careful about this stuff.
The
for obvious
the
reasons.
hag smut novels are nothing dangerous.
Yeah, it's not about. I mean, yes, but you know Cannonball's past. It has hag over it. It could be.
Wait, there was smut in them?
It could. Yeah. It could literally. It could literally be. You know, a recipe to cornbread, and Cannonball would be paranoid about it for obvious reasons.
I mean, that's fair. We got a hag's recipe for cookies in a different game, and it did not go well.
Hey, I
Hey.
used that
Why-
cookie to my advantage.
Yeah,
that went very well for me.
Hence why Cannonball, either way, is just being extra nitpicky. Again, it's past trauma. That's all.
Before or when Pearl gets a moment somewhere in everything that's going on, she will actually go have a, heart to heart with Codger and basically tell him that she intends for him to be caretaker there, and this is her expectation of what he will do, and this is to continue. Is that acceptable?
And
or...
as you find Codger, you don't know where Codger got it, but he's now in like a little like maid outfit with just a little white apron and a little feather duster, and just cleaning the banisters off, the dust off all the banisters, just humming happily to himself.
Okay. So can I have this little conversation now then? Okay. All right. So, Codger, interesting choice of attire.
Codger is caretaker.
Okay. Yes, and that's actually what I wanted to speak to you about. It would be my wish that you remain here within the grounds of this estate, and that you maintain the estate to look like a proper estate, well kept and well maintained, that you would guard and make sure there are no intruders. Again, no one is to be dealt any kind of lethal damage. They are just to be discouraged from entering, and that would be your task for the foreseeable future until such time as I return and speak with you again, or send a messenger on my behalf to speak with you. The messenger probably would be a small creature, kind of white wings, called Matcha Gray. Is that acceptable from your...
Matcha Gray. The hunter bat.
Yes. You know her?
Miss Gray has had many dealings with the former master.
Oh, really?
Well-known treasure hunter.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the dealings that Matcha had with Mr. Goldspar, or no?
I unfortunately, no. Codger was not
Okay.
privy to that information. Codger was sent out anytime Miss Gray paid the old master a visit.
So did she work for your previous master then?
Contractor.
Okay. In your cleaning up, you haven't seen a sort of a tea set, have you?
Tea sets? No, but Codger has been nowhere near the kitchen.
Okay. If you do find a tea set, perhaps clean it up, set it aside for the next time I visit. I would like to see it.
He just gives you a nod.
Okay.
I don't know why this spooky music is still playing.
This is
Some
spooky
weird
stuff.
shit just happened.
Because no one knows when I'm going to do something. Just kidding.
And also, Captain Janka is not fond of you. Please keep a more than respectful distance from her.
That is okay. I'm not fond of Captain Janka either.
I suspect that might be the case.
Codger does not like thieves.
Does not like?
Thieves. Captain Janka tried to steal from Codger.
Well, now that actually was possibly that was a misunderstanding. Don't hold a grudge on that one. Everybody can make a mistake.
I'm going to hold a grudge with this one because this one keeps eating my mouse wire. Evie.
Pay
Okay,
attention to me,
so at
or I
this
eat
point,
your
Pearl
things.
is cool. Codger seems to be fine. She's probably missed something important, but that's the way it goes. So, and Codger, you are never to come to me on the ship. If you need something, you have to send somebody else or send a message. You are not to leave the estate. Okay?
Understood.
All right.
He kind of just goes back to his dusting.
Pearl shakes her head at the outfit and wanders off.
Wanders off, but probably doesn't get far because Shara is standing there waiting for you for a moment to speak.
Oh, sure, yes.
So, a lot of shit just went down, and I'm sure a lot of it's still kind of like pretty raw, but we gotta let the guards know what happened. Because I was bringing them here to, possibly arrest your grandfather. Then shit hit the fan. Kind of literally in his case. Sorry if that's insensitive. And, now he's no longer with us, and I don't want them assuming that I had something to do with that. So maybe you and I could go, talk to them and tell them that I didn't kill him.
Okay, and we'll just tell them that I just told him to drive into the wall? Or throw himself into the wall? I mean...
They were outside of that, shield thing when it showed up. So they would have seen that some weird magic shit was happening. So it wouldn't be too unbelievable, I think. Because, so I don't know if I explained it, because a lot of stuff happened really quickly, but I was on my way here with the guards, and then we got shot at by, a cannon from something atop this mansion. And then that shield started to show up, and I ditched the guards and ran in. So they know, weird stuff was going down. But we should probably tell them, that he's dead.
Sure. Should we be taking the captain with us, do you think, or?
The I mean, I don't think we need to.
Okay. And one other thing, which it may seem somewhat insensitive on my part, but I remembered you saying something about my grandfather's rings.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think they have a great deal of potency, but at this point, they have become the possession, or gone into the possession of, or been taken by the imp as part of his payment for having served my grandfather without any other payment for heaven only knows how long. It seems to be a very sore point to try to wrestle these from him. He doesn't seem even remotely willing to give them up.
I mean, that seems fair. If they were promised to him as payment, I'd be pretty mad if somebody tried to take my payment from me.
Yeah. So, the other thing in as I think about it, I mean, my grandfather had all this stuff that he was trying so hard to save himself with, and it didn't work anyway. So I know, it's not ideal, but maybe we can leave that sort of issue for another day and go talk to the guards.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. It sounds like there was an arrangement that was made between the imp and your grandfather, and going against that arrangement in any way, it's probably a really bad idea.
Well, I'm not sure if you realize, but apparently the imp doesn't die immortal. This is upsetting the captain to a large extent. I'm trying to do what I can to smooth this over. As I say, I think some of these problems we'll have to deal with later. My brother apparently has taken off for that island sanctuary place where we were headed.
Yeah, the big resort, right?
Yeah. Which is kind of not what I would have expected. And apparently, from what was said, he and my grandfather parted on poor terms, which is also odd because it was my understanding he was to have the business. He was to inherit. So I hope to find out what's going on there.
Maybe you just needed some R&R. I mean, I'm kind of feeling that way myself.
Yeah, that island sanctuary is sounding really kind of nice. But anyway, I don't, at this point, I'm just not sure where I stand in terms of the business and everything. And so leaving the imp such as he is, I hope you didn't see that maid outfit. Oh dear. I don't know. Very
I'm sorry,
strange.
did you say the imp is wearing a maid outfit?
I did.
And if you look around, you could see Codger like probably about like 3 feet off the ground, just dusting just heavily caked layers of dust off the wall with a feather duster.
Nice.
Disturbing. I prefer the butler.
I think they pull
outfit.
it off.
Well, anyway, he's a whole different kind of problem. But, and I'm not sure if he will be a problem, but at least for now, it will mean that at least the mansion is taken care of in case we need it. Sort of might be a nice place to have to come back to, except of course we'd have to remove him when we come because of the captain. But
yeah, I mean, he seems nice enough. Like, he hasn't been rude or anything. Like, I get there's history there with Jenka and like devils or demons or whatever, and I'm not gonna encroach on that. We've all got our issues, but I don't have any issues with the imp. Seems fine.
well,
Not trying to make like deals with everyone like that other guy, so he seems fine.
well, yeah. Anyway, maybe we should go find those guards.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out to where the carriage I was in got hit by the cannonball, see if there's anyone there that needs help, and then, maybe just like meet me at the guards barracks later or something so we can tell them what happened.
Okay, that sounds good.
As you're having this conversation, there's a pounding at the front door of the mansion.
I have to ask, does Codger put on his butler outfit and answer the door?
Codger looks at you a little confused because you told him he wasn't to be seen. Should Codger leave? Should Codger wear disguise?
Codger should perhaps clean in another room. I will go to the door.
And he just quickly flies off it down the hallway.
And I will go and see who's at the door.
You open the door, and standing in front of you in A little beat up shape is Lieutenant Commander Tyson Briggs. As you can see that his armor is a little dented. There's a little bit of like the flick of flame across it to where it's left like a little sear mark on it. He's got a little bit of blood coming down from like his head from underneath the his helm. And he just kind of like looks at you, and he looks at Shara with a mixture of like confusion and just outright anger.
Hey, Briggs.
Shara, I know you had no hand in this, but what the fuck?
I was just asking the same question.
And he looks down to Pearl, and he's like, ma'am, I do not know if you know this, but housing regulations here in the city strictly forbid any sort of maritime arsenal on the battlements. I.e. a cannon that just blew up our carriage and killed 2 of my men.
Okay.
Is
it still there?
That is why I'm going to need permission to search the grounds. The cannon is not there, but there was a cannon fired from the top of your estate. Is your grandfather home? I need to speak to him.
You see over there on the lawn, that sort of little pile with the sheet over it?
And he kind of shakes his head. No.
Didn't we bury him?
No, you didn't bury him yet. He kind of like looks down. It's like, I don't see any sheet or lump or anything.
My grandfather tried to flee, and he was airborne at the time, and he crashed into the shield and
The shield.
was killed. Well,
What shield?
The thing that was over the house and the grounds and everything.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to elaborate a little more. I was underneath the burning wreckage of a carriage. I didn't see any shield.
Well, I suspect there may have been a lot of very unusual things happening from where myself and my companions were in here. There was a structure of sorts, like a half of a dome holding us in, and my grandfather tried to flee, and it was impossible to penetrate. He thought he could go through it, but he couldn't.
So there should be a body.
There absolutely was a body. The captain took a sheet out to cover the body.
The captain? What captain?
The captain of the ship I'm normally on?
Your captain is here.
Yeah, I hope so.
So if there was a shield around this house, how did any of you get here? I know how Shara got here. She was on the cart with us. But the last time any of you were reported seen, you were near the Wyvern's bounty.
Grandfather's man brought us here?
Your grandfather's men.
His employees.
How did they bring you here?
Through a sort of a tunnel thing?
A tunnel? And where does this tunnel lead from? You see that he pulls out like a small notebook and he just starts like feverishly writing everything you say down.
Not to like interrupt everything, but maybe this is a conversation better had with everybody that was involved, down at like your station or something.
Normally, I would agree with you, but we need to take care of this here and now. At least a preliminary report, seeing as how I have 2 dead guardsmen out. If I have any further questions later on, I will bring you down to the station for a talk.
I mean that's fair, yeah.
Now,
so you know how I got here.
Yes, you're free to go. You're free to go, Shar. You came and got us.
Okay.
You.
Can I help with the carriage wreck or anything?
We already have men working on it.
All right.
Now.
So, as Pearl looks around, who is there then? Am I all by myself? Is nobody
else has
now?
come up from the basement. Everybody else is still down in the basement. Like you, after after the fight and everything, you came up to talk to Codger, and then Shara came up, but everybody else is still, in the basement.
Echo would have eventually come up. She said she was tired. She wants to go find a place to sit down.
Had Shara gone down the basement?
Yeah, Shara was in the basement.
Okay, so and Shara's still here though.
Yep.
Shara, maybe while I stay here with Mr. Briggs, you could go get the others.
Yeah, I can do that. They're still downstairs, right?
I think so.
As Echo, you kind of like wander into like the main room, or into the foyer, and you see the 3 of them near the front door. Now, as I was asking, this tunnel, where did you enter it from?
I'm trying to as the player's trying to remember. We were in the warehouse.
It was the warehouse.
Yeah, you were.
And it wasn't a physical tunnel; it was a magical tunnel.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were
Yeah, it was a
in
portal.
one of the Gold Spar shipping companies. What do you call it? One of their empty warehouses. That the only thing that was there was just this stone arch that had runes carved into it, and after a small ritual, a portal opened.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Echo. The lieutenant here is asking about the tunnel we came in here through.
Tunnel.
How,
Oh,
like he's not quite clear how we were here and
you mean the
got
portal?
here.
A portal. So it wasn't a tunnel; it was a portal.
Yeah. Her grandfather brought us here through a portal.
So I can tack on illegal use of magic onto this report. Shara, you weren't wrong. He was apparently engaging in some illegal activity.
Yeah, it was definitely questionable. Like all of this is kind of questionable. But
Kind of
also,
like looks around. He's like, "What the hell happened to this place?"
I think a paranoid old man happened to this place.
Echo's just gonna shrug. Is there a place to sit down in here? Is there like a little...
There are a couple like old chairs. Yeah,
they've been cleaned off, or are they still covered in dust?
still
and dirt?
caked in dust.
You can see her contemplating sitting down and deciding she doesn't want to sit in it. How red is the ring around my neck, by the way? Is it fresh looking, or does it look like an old scar?
It's fresh. It's a fresh
Okay.
scar. See, so you teleported here, and then your grandfather tried to escape, threw himself into that barrier, and he died. But now his body is nowhere to be found.
Isn't it out on the lawn?
No.
Captain covered it with a sheet.
That is what I am told, but there is no body with a sheet out there.
That's odd. I'd be concerned who stole the dead body. That's weird.
Oh, that's on my list. So why was your grandfather trying to escape? If he
Like, the old
brought
man was off his rocker. He was rattling on about some nonsense and then said he had to escape. I think he was losing his mind in his old age.
possible insanity. To be fair, we have gotten reports that the old man was acting a little unhinged recently. No offense, miss, but we've gotten quite a few eyewitness statements about it.
We explained why he was illegally using some magic.
Maybe.
Not in his right and sound of mind.
So now that he's dead, next of kin takes over. But your brother isn't here.
No. Apparently, from what we understand, he is currently on another island. So.
Stormbreaker Landing is where I heard he was setting off to.
And I don't quite understand why, if my grandfather was unwell, he would pick this time to leave.
Well, if I remember correctly, him and your grandfather had it out. Your brother decided that he had had enough of the old man's insanity and decided that he was due a vacation.
Yeah, so he'll be coming back. He can just take over when he gets back. I'm sure others can run business in the meantime.
I'm going to have to get permission from the standing representative of the company in order to begin an investigation. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go to the magistrate and things will get a lot more ugly. Assets frozen. All business stopped. Not a good look for the company itself.
So you need my brother to agree to this?
Your brother isn't here, which means the decision is on you.
I'm sorry, I came in late to this conversation. What are we investigating?
Shar brought reports to us that the old man was engaging in some illegal activities. That he was off his rocker, planning to have people killed. Then I come to find out that he was in the use of illegal magic and died in mysterious circumstances, and the body is nowhere to be found.
Man, that does sound like some trouble.
Well, at this point, I really don't see why I would stand in the way of an investigation and make things difficult for you, because that's really not my intent here.
Once you get yourself situated, please stop by the barracks. That way the official paperwork can be signed.
I can do that. I'm with a crew, and we weren't planning on stopping here, and we really weren't planning on staying here for an extended period. I'm really hoping to locate my brother and have him come and take his rightful place.
It shouldn't take too long. 5 minutes at most. You only have to sign 3 sheets of paper. Pretty much gives us control to look through anything that we may require for investigation. Financials, business deals, shipping information, anything of the like.
And the ship that we came in on was pretty badly damaged, so we're gonna be here for a little bit either way.
I think we do have to wait for repairs. However, can one of the company lawyers come down and handle the signature so Pearl doesn't have to do it herself?
Now, the lawyers in this case wouldn't be the ones we need. We need the direct representative of the company. And in her brother's absence, that falls on.
So probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get one of the lawyers to take over the paperwork just to make sure you understand it, Pearl.
Thank you. I think that would be very wise.
I'm gonna go see if I can't find the captain to figure out what happened with that whole blanket situation. Since she was the last one to see the body. And we're wander back down to try and find Jenka and Cannonball and give them a heads up of what's going on upstairs.
Okay.
And Muir would be down there with them, I think.
And
So,
Muir, yeah.
As this whole situation has been unfolding, Jenka, Cannonball, and Muir, what have you been doing down in the basement?
Honestly, once everyone started heading up, I would have been following that.
Okay.
There's no reason for me to be down here. No. Weird magic shit and not my wheelhouse. Not
Weird
my
magic and undead shit? No.
No. And things that are already dead. I don't need to be down here.
Okay. So, Mira, you probably hear the conversation going on as you get the gist of, there's going to be an investigation into not only Grandpa Goldspar's death, but of any potential crimes he had been possibly committing.
If I'm remembering correctly, I probably heard the thing about his body's not out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the demon devil thing, snatch the body?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I thought
It drained it.
He was a soul eater.
Yeah,
It ate the
he
soul.
took the soul. That's it.
Oh, he left the rest?
Mhm.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, do you not unwrap your hamburger before you eat it?
No, wrapper and all.
Oh, okay. you eat it with the skin on. Got it.
This peaches, you have to take the fur off first, right?
No.
Just with the little fur coats, and you take the little fur coat off? No?
Nope.
No.
Same with kiwis. Don't even bother.
Ugh.
Oranges.
A surprising number of people do eat kiwis that way.
Yeah, I know. But no. Okay. No, I'm. Mira knows better than to get involved in discussions like this. I'm just going to park near the back of the room and be like, okay.
Okay. What about Jenka and Cannonball? What are you two doing?
Contemplating life choices. But also, Jenka's just confused on the whole situation, to be completely honest, as to what just happened. Probably expecting the altar as well as everything else around in the area, just to kind of see what the hell is this and how the hell did they get in here. So just kind of doing some investigations.
Okay. How would you like to go about this investigation?
Well, first things first, definitely want to check out the altar area, as well as potentially kind of sniff out where maybe their stench came from, how they were able to get in here, to see if there's perhaps another place they came from.
Okay. All
So visual and then sensory.
right. So for visual, you can either give me just a straight up investigation roll, or if you're trying to determine more about the altar itself, you could go ahead and give me an Arcana roll.
Oh, both are the same. You know what? I'll do Arcana because it is magic.
Okay.
Give me a second. Is this a thing? Symbols and strange traditions. Oh, I do have an advantage. Okay, cool. Cool.
For the record, Cannonball will follow up doing the similar things I'll explain after, but yeah.
22. Thank God for advantage.
Okay. So as you're looking over this this altar, you get this first very like uncomfortable calm feel about you, and then it's quickly replaced with a feeling of you just wanting to retch and get away from it as quick as possible. As you're looking at this altar isn't what it seems. It seems that it's got some sort of almost glamour to it. As to the naked eye, it appears to be just this white marble altar. But the closer you get to it, the more you inspect it, you begin to see through the glamour a bit. And the altar isn't made of marble, but of a mound of shaped rotting flesh.
Oh.
An altar of pestilence.
Oh, Jesus. That explains
makes sense.
so much out of character. It explains so much out of character.
And like every now and then, like as like you do get just temporary glimpses through the glamour, you can see almost like muscle tissue on the altar sort of like twitching every now and then.
Would I have the knowledge knowing how to get rid of this other than the obvious, like burn it?
I don't think Jenka's ever dealt with an altar of pestilence before.
No.
Like she's
No,
maybe
just kinda
heard of
go
it.
off undead.
She's maybe heard of it, but it's definitely one of the higher atrocities on Undead Table.
You know what? She has a funny idea. She's gonna look to Cannonball and go, "Do you see what I'm seeing?"
Well, are we talking about the altar?
Yes, and what it is.
Well, let me see.
I rolled a 16, Rojan, for the Arcana check.
You can go ahead and make it with advantage since Jenka's sort of like pointing it out to you.
Okay. In that case, it's going to be a 17 plus 5. That is... wait, Arcana, that goes off of what? 1 second.
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
It does go, okay, yeah. So yeah, I am using the intelligence cantrip thingamajiggy. And yeah, that's gonna be a 22 then.
22, yeah. You can instantly see through the glamour as well. Every now and then it kind of flickers in and out.
Well, that's tasty and does not make me want to ruin my breakfast.
I don't suppose you know how to get rid of something like this, do you?
Well, I can creatively think of a thing or two, but if you're asking me if there's a proper way to get rid of this thing, well...
Rojan, would I know anything about that?
Given Cannonball's messed up history
and propensity for, yeah. weird deals with weird entities. Yeah.
You can give me another Arcana roll,
Okay.
or you can make it a history check.
I'm going to go with the Arcana. We are going to use the whatchamacallit. Give me a minute. Exceptional wit cantrip once more, and we will go from there.
Okay.
Let's see here. That. Well, my dice are consistent, if anything, tonight. That is once again a 16.
16. While you have seen an altar of pestilence before in your travels, and it really doesn't fill you with confidence, as you know that there is a certain hag out on the seas who dedicates herself to the spread of disease and pestilence and the worship of a diseased goddess.
Well,
you can't really think of anything other than good old fire.
yeah, not only that,
Yeah.
now that I know that this is an altar of pestilence and it is linked with a certain hag, as you mentioned,
It's not necessarily linked with a certain hag. It just brings up memories. As you know, there is a specific hag out on the seas who works a lot with shaping and spreading pestilence and disease across the Tricorn.
Yes. I'm just saying that considering that knowledge, the fact that there is an altar doing things like this right now, and that I have a book in my thing that most probably either belong to her, as far as Cannonball may be doubting or not. Problem is, if it looks like a hag, if it smells like a hag, if it has anything that may even remotely look like a hag,
it's probably a duck.
Cannonball takes no chances. Remember the books that we had near the dead hags that were just smut? And Cannonball was like,
magical
burn it all?
smut, by the way.
True, but Cannonball was like, burn it all. If he's willing to burn smut, once he knows that this book has something to potentially do with a hag,
Ash would like to know your location.
right? He's probably gonna want to burn everything as well. So yeah, he's gonna turn to Jenka here, and he's gonna say, well, from me knowledge and memories, there be a hag that goes around and is dedicated to the spreading of pestilence and disease across the Tricorn. And if this be something that may have anything close, even remotely close, to that hag, well, I say burn it all, Captain. With fire, preferably.
Wow, that's exactly what I was thinking. I just needed to be sure.
And I say we throw the book in there too for good measures.
Yeah, especially if it came from this altar. I
Alright.
agree.
Not to mention Echo's unhealthy, seemingly obsession with the orb that got it destroyed. At this point, I'm not touching much of it anymore. Trusting much of it anymore.
Alright. Let's go ahead and burn it then.
So on that note, I'll chuck the book back on the altar.
Okay.
And we're gonna start blasting it over and over with firebolt cantrips.
Okay. And Jenka, how are you burning?
Give me a moment. Since my rite of passage is not... rite of passage, wow. Crimson Rite, I don't know where I went with that, is not fire. Would you use fire out on the ocean? Please.
Underwater volcanoes.
Yes.
That's lava, not fire.
It's
It sets
technically
things on
magma.
fire, thus it's fire. I don't care what anybody else says. It's liquid fire.
You know what?
According to the Avatar series, it's rock.
Jesus Christ.
Also,
Look, I can't argue with earthbenders. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? I
right.
do have
They're
have oil and torches, so yeah, we're just gonna do this the old-fashioned way and just light a torch.
Yep. And also, as this thing is dying, there's one more thing I'm gonna want to do because it was somewhat alive, right? It was twitching and everything.
It looked like it had some sort of life to it, and like as soon as you start pelting this thing with fire, it begins to like let off like a small screech of pain as the fire begins to like slowly slam into it and like almost instantly cover it, as it looks like it was like as the glimmer begins to fade away, it looks like it was just covered in this like very thin layer of like flammable oil.
So as this happens, I'm gonna try something here.
Okay.
And this is more Cannonball doing this to ascertain the nature of this thing. As this thing like lets out a small screech of pain, we're gonna use Grim Siphon on it.
What is Grim Siphon?
It is again from Kobold Press, you know.
Good old magic right there.
Yep. And it's necromancy, actually. It's basically sucks the life out of something. And then you use it to heal basically either yourself or another creature that's within 5 feet of the target. So as this thing's burning, we're gonna try to suck a little bit of energy out of it and see if that tells us anything. You know,
I'm gonna say that the Grim Siphon is not going to work.
Okay. So there is no actual life to siphon out of this thing. Even better.
Not living life.
Yeah, that tells Cannonball all he needs to know. That's like I said, that's why we did it. One slot used. And yeah. The entire purpose, like I said, of that was for Cannonball was to see was this thing necromantically charged or was it living energy charged, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And it was most definitely false life necromancy.
Yep, which again answers Cannonball's question, and he's even going to tell that to Jenka, and he'll be, "This was foul necromancy, Captain. We definitely have to double check Echo."
We hit the burn Echo.
I'd like to point out that healing spells are necromancy.
Not all of them.
Which is funny to me, but I already knew that considering how you touched the book and it brought her back, but who's to say she's not undead? Which, fuck, how does it last a while? God, it's been so long since I've done this. Hold up, or is it just straight up I know it? Where is it? No, Hunter's Bay. Where is it? There it is. It doesn't say how long it lasts for.
Which ability?
Hunter's Bane, the sensing the undead.
I think that's like an immediate thing.
I think it is. Yeah, it's not like a something.
It doesn't last. It just goes off and tells you immediately.
It's just like a little GPS burst to see if there's anything around you.
A ping, basically.
Yeah, I can definitely. Yeah, there's no like limit to it or anything. It's just I can do it.
Now
yeah,
I will say before you use your GPS to locate the undead, you notice that as this altar begins to burn and just slowly stop twitching, that the walls themselves of the cave sort of slowly turn like almost a like a rust brownish color, almost like the color of dried blood, as both of you get the feeling that not only was this altar some sort of bastion of false life, the cavern walls themselves were also alive.
Some House of Wax shit going on here. All right. You know what? Jenka's actually going to hold the torch up to different parts of the cavern and see if they kind of twitch and kind of make the same.
Not
burn.
anymore. It looks like by killing the by destroying the altar itself, you pretty much destroyed the heart of whatever this thing was.
Interesting. I will then, at this point, use my senses to see where potentially they may have come from.
Okay.
See if maybe there's like a tunnel or somewhere else around here because we haven't fully explored this area yet. We just kind of went down and went, oh shit. So yeah, so definitely going to try to get a whiff of anything, like whether there is a collapsed tunnel or something hidden. Just trying to smell.
Go ahead and give me an investigation roll, or if you want, an Arcana check.
I think I'll do investigation for this one actually. That is a 19.
A 19. You go around the cavern, you can't really find anything about how, like anything that would sort of designate that the undead came from some other adjoining cavern or they dug from an adjoining hole. Though, when you go back into the main chamber and you look over the now exposed and burnt pestilence altar, you get a rather disturbing realization that these creatures were birthed into existence by that altar.
That's yummy.
The imagery on that.
Yeah, that. Trying to think of the movie this reminds me of. It's just like an older movie that's just not. It's not working. Okay, yeah. Jenka is actually very satisfied of just burning this altar and the book along with it, as she'll look back to Cannonball and be like, well, I don't want to necessarily use the word purged, but at least this area is.
Captain, if you're not
Clean for
using
now.
the word purged yet, that simply means I need to fire a couple more firebolts.
Which he will do at the walls.
Okay, and
The walls are not.
and as you do, the firebolts slam into the walls and they begin to melt away pieces of the cavern wall itself, as now charred and almost liquefied, what looked to be flesh kind of just splotch onto the ground underneath the impact marks.
Huh. Do you reckon there's something behind the flesh walls, Captain?
Oh, I have no doubt. I was just waiting for them to burn.
Oh, let's speed up the process, shall we?
A couple more firebolts. Let's see what's behind the flesh.
Okay.
And I will use my blades to just kind of make an X pattern, a very large X pattern, to kind of peel away part of the skin to make like a little
and you
entryway.
begin to like perform pyrotechnic based surgery on these walls, and you dig in deep into one side as you kind of break through and finally find earth. And it just sits with you even more that where you are right now isn't a cavern room. It's on the inside of a now dead creature.
I don't know what it is about being inside creatures this entire adventure, Captain, but we seem to be having bad luck.
Do I recognize or know what this creature could be?
Give me... Do an Arcana check with disadvantage.
Normally I have advantage with my hunter, so just a straight roll?
Yeah. Just go and do straight roll.
Okay. Oh, F me. That's a 9.
Not a clue.
May I try?
Yeah.
Cannonball's a bit messed up. Cannonball might know, but same thing at disadvantage.
Okay.
He's seen some fucked up shit.
Yeah, Cannonball's seen
Right.
some stuff.
And what,
Arcana at disadvantage.
same thing? Okay. Let's see. That's my lowest one. That is a 20.
A 20.
Yeah, the other one was a 24. I got a 6 on the
Nice.
brilliant intelligence cantrip roll. That's why I got that bonus.
So, due to his time and experience with the hags, Cannonball knows that these pestilence worshippers can take mass amounts of rotting flesh and then form them into like pretty much undead incubation units. With the altar pretty much acting just pretty much as a channel to birth more and more and more undead. The only thing that's required is dead flesh and agonized souls. As long as there is a continual feed of both into that pestilence altar, another undead will be born.
So, question then. Would this convince at this point Cannonball that this is something hag related, since you said that he knows this due to his time with the hags?
It wouldn't be a bad idea to assume so. You do know that there are other pestilence worshippers out there who aren't the hag, but your experience
I'm saying it would be
alone...
fair to think Cannonball assumes that, so let's put it that way. Not because I don't want to end up.
This would totally...
It might be someone else or whatever. Like Cannonball would just
response
would be that hags.
Yeah, Cannonball's knee-jerk response would more than likely be it's the hags.
Okay. So at this point, that's probably what he'd verbally express here to Jenka. He'd be, well, I've seen hags use foul rituals and magics to create these chambers, for lack of better terminology, Captain. Simply put, add dead flesh and tortured souls to that altar, and it keeps on generating the undead. Me real question, and the one that terrifies me, poor, dismembered and dismantled soul. Well, why the hell is one of these under the city? Nay, under the Goldspar Manor.
Well, one of two things. Either Granddaddy had a little dark secret, or that imp may know what's been going on, or someone's just been using this area to their advantage.
Well, matey, twisting Codger's pointy ears for more knowledge about this might be a good place to start, I agree.
Well, I did a sweep and nothing really stuck out, so the investigation will have to go elsewhere, I assume.
You might be correct, Captain.
Alright, let's go topside. It stinks down here.
Aye.
As you can visibly see, like, Jenka's been kind of like doing the nose scrunch thing, like trying not to pinch the nose, but at the same time very much wants to, like, oh, it's gross down here.
Okay. And by the time you come back up, the conversation with Lieutenant Commander Briggs sort of winds down. He excuses himself to go back to the barracks to receive medical attention and to begin to prepare to inform the families of the deceased guards as to what happened. Leaving the group plus Codger once again alone in this rather run-down, dust-caked abomination of a mansion.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, after Briggs leaves, I'm real quick just gonna like run through the mansion, looking for my duffel crab friend, who I released upon first entering the mansion. Just gonna go ahead and scoop them up.
So
He probably needs antihistamine.
You go looking around for the duffel crab, and you could see him walking out of one of the rooms, and he's doubled in size at this point in time. as he kind of just like walks out, and he's now the size of like a German Shepherd.
Nice.
It's been keeping
Attached
busy.
to what looks to be a quite literal duffel bag.
Poor crab that we can't even remember his name after he told us.
So upon
Have to go
seeing
back to the
him,
episode.
I'm just gonna be like, hey, come here.
He quickly runs over to you, and you can tell there's now weight to those legs as he runs.
Just stay by my side. Act cool. Pretend this is normal.
You see act cool, and you see it pull out like just a pair of like shaded glasses and just put it over its eyes.
Nice. Okay, come on, let's go rejoin everyone else.
Just right next to you, just walking along.
Okay, and I'll just rejoin the group. Like this is just totally normal. Nothing strange has happened here.
Except now there's a giant German Shepherd-sized crab wearing sunglasses walking along next to Shara.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
This is fine.
Well, this investigation is certainly going to complicate things.
Is it though?
How long do you think they're going to want us to stay in town so they can ask us questions on what they find? And then is it going to have a negative impact on Pearl's family as they uncover more and more about what Granddaddy was doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to be good for the company, but also it doesn't really have anything to do with us.
Yeah, there's just the dead bodies in the basement that they don't know if we killed or Grandpa did.
Yeah, but I mean, if we tell them that we didn't do it, and they don't find any proof that we did it because we didn't do it, I mean, that's kind of the end of it, right?
Yeah, but they're going to want to stick around for a long time just so they can ask us questions about it and try and find that proof.
Which we have to do anyway because our ship is broken.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Let's
Our
hope
ship is
they-
very, very not good at the moment.
Hopefully wrap up by the time our boat does.
I honestly don't think this is that big of a problem for us personally. It's a very big problem for the company, but I don't think it's a big problem for us.
Question is it a problem for Pearl?
Oh, undoubtedly. Like it's a very big personal problem for her family.
I meant her as an individual, and I'm looking at Pearl waiting for her.
Well, I mean, I've sort of gotten along with not a whole lot of financial help from the family for a very long time. And for me, I would rather that the company be a much smaller company with a good name than this horrible thing that it seems to have turned into and grown into. Again, in some ways, if I can get my brother to come back and take over, it becomes his problem unless he, did he see this coming? I don't know. I don't know why he argued with my grandfather. I don't know what they argued about. And I don't know, are these horrible fingers of corruption through everything? I have a horrible feeling that they may be.
Yep.
And personally, I really don't want any part of that. And if the company ceased to exist, another hopefully better company would spring up to take its place.
Maybe.
I have my personal problem now with our good friend, the devil, who's... I hope I won't see too much of him, but... And, maybe I can I don't think I don't know if you can outlive. Well, anyway, you know, I don't think he wants me right away, so I've got some time to hopefully come up with something. But
And I mean, as far as the investigation that's going to happen goes, I mean, you don't have to like tell them your life story or anything, but you don't really have a reason to hide a lot of this from them as well, right? I mean, they're just going to be doing their job.
well, as I say, in many ways, I have been quite at arm's length or more.
Yeah, I mean,
As far as my
you're
grandfather could
innocent in
throw
this
me
whole
from the
thing.
company for a very long time. You know, so I don't know that my hand. Oh well, you never know. I guess what could happen, but I don't think my hand will be shown to be in what's happened here.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, right? Like, I mean, maybe don't tell them that you're like contracted to a devil now or whatever. You just conveniently leave that part of it out. But as far as like what happened here today, I don't think we need to hide anything from them because we're all innocent in this.
If there's anything you do want to hide, I suggest you ask Codger to hide it. I feel like he'd be good at that.
Yes. And, you know, then there's this matter of this cannon on the roof that, or whatever they keep talking about, which I don't know if it's still there. The captain or the lieutenant didn't seem to think it was. And just as an aside, where is my grandfather's body?
Yeah, that's a little curious.
Yeah.
I did tell Codger to bury him. I don't know that. I mean, I sent Codger to clean the house. He should be doing that first anyway.
Why don't you ask Codger if he did something with it first, before we go trying to hunt it down?
I could go do that. Yes.
Because, you know, if we don't have to hunt down a dead body, there's things I would rather be doing.
Yes.
I got friends in town I'd like to visit.
Well, let me go ask him. So Pearl is going to go hunting for an imp impersonating a French maid.
And as you begin to walk off, he kind of just appears next to you. You were thinking about Codger.
Well, actually, I was thinking about my grandfather, Codger. Do you happen to know where the body is?
Outside, underneath the blanket.
You didn't touch it.
No. You first told me to bury,
didn't...
but then told me to clean the house instead.
Yes, and no one. Well, okay. You
Codger
didn't tell anyone else to bury him.
Who would I tell?
Well, I'm just double checking here.
It's just Codger. Unless
okay,
you want
well,
Codger to offer help or to hire help, and well, Codger has some friends who are in need of employment.
Oh, I'm afraid of that. No, let's not go there, Codger. I think this is a long-term project for you to work away at. I expect you to put in a good day's work at it every day, and I expect things to look much better than they do now the next time I'm here.
Codger will work the standard 28-hour days.
Okay. That sounds more than reasonable. Okay, well, thank you. I'm going to go hunting for my grandfather's body.
Happy hunting.
Thank you. So Pearl goes back to the others. No, Codger did not. He says the body's out in the yard under a blanket.
Well, let's go see if we can track it down. Or head out to where we last saw the body, see if I can find anything that might be tell me what happened.
Perhaps the captain would be very useful here as well.
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Captain will come out of the basement when Captain comes out of the basement.
True.
Investigation. That's a dirty 20.
You find the blanket. Same place it was. No, there's no body underneath it. When you pull the blanket aside, there's now just like a Grandpa Goldspar shape hole that sort of just goes down into the soil.
Well, that's disturbing. How far down does it go? Does it go like feet, or is it like just like an
About
impression?
30 feet. And then you just see like a fleshy mass underneath it.
Well, that's disturbing. Yeah, I think the captain needs to be here for this one. Actually, or we can just let the, guards do their job. They can investigate this crap.
Well,
But there's something disgusting down there.
is Pearl there to see this too?
If Pearl went outside, yeah, Pearl would see this.
Okay. Grandfather didn't die that long ago. If we already have a 30-foot hole, how deep of a hole are we going to have by the time the papers are signed and the guards come back?
Oh, it's a good question. But he's also not quite looking like a body anymore either, so I wonder if he's decomposing faster than anticipated. Maybe when the decomposition stops, the hole will stop. Maybe this is a side effect of that weird magic he was using.
Could be. Or he's
I don't know
being
shit about magic.
sucked into the scary caverns below.
Could be. So it's weird that it... Well, how's it going to get him through the... I guess it's making a tunnel to get him through the dirt, isn't it?
Oh.
Think it's going to end up at that altar?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, I don't like any of this.
Just a thought, though.
Oh, I just had
Sorry,
a
Pearl, but your grandpa's
horrible,
house is awful.
horrible thought. All those bodies. That sphere. And Grandpa here. If all of his ancestors died here, would they be the ones that were in the sphere? And I don't want to be here when I die.
I mean, the sphere's now dust. Do you really have to worry about it now?
Okay, but you know what I mean. But then if that's true, well, what's going on with my grandfather's body?
Good question.
I think we need Cannonball and the captain.
I think it would be at this point in time, Cannonball and Jenko would be coming up from the basement.
All right. Well, what's going on over here?
Oh, just a sinking body.
Yeah, Grandpa seems to be decomposing real fast and sinking into the ground.
Any insights,
He's about 30 feet
Cannonball?
down.
Quickly, let me take a look. Cannonball will rush over to take a look.
Cannonball, when you look down into that hole, you can see it goes down about 30 feet, and there's that burnt fleshy mass that you had just left behind.
Ah, well, the good news is we should have stopped it from getting swallowed up.
Yeah, we should still burn the body.
There's no body.
There's no body.
Oh,
It was already absorbed.
it's just a hole. It's just a hole.
It's just a
Good news
hole.
is
It goes down
it
30
won't be
feet,
going
and then you
anywhere.
just see a part of that like fleshy mass that you guys were playing Operation on.
Echo wasn't aware of the fleshy mass, but she
Mhm.
thought the flesh was Grandpa.
I mean, honest. It's an honest.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's an honest idea.
Oh, it's a good thing we
Good news
burned
is
it
he
while
won't
we
be
did.
coming back anytime soon. Sorry, Pearl.
I'm sorry, what won't be coming back anytime soon?
As is, undead. Your grandpappy.
Well, don't be apologizing for that. I've had more than enough of that.
I meant more that your recent loss and everything. My apologies for that.
Well, I have a lot of mixed feelings about all of this.
That being said, Captain, do you want me to proceed here or wait till we're back at the ship?
Oh no, we're surrounded by a lot of rotting flesh and death. Now it's fine.
Fine.
I will use Hunter's Bane.
Let's
See
do it.
if I sense any undead fiends or fae nearby.
Okay. You sense
Specifically looking at Echo to see if I get the ping from her.
exactly one undead near you. And she's about 5 feet away from you.
She'll look at Cannonball and kind of give that disapproving look of their predictions were correct.
Well, Echo, matey, how do you feel right now?
Like I died and was brought back? How the fuck do you
Right.
think I'll feel?
Frankenstein manner, I would.
I do
assume.
I
apologize.
got this lovely new scar here.
I see that. I do apologize for this, but I'm going to have to make sure you're not injured any further and that the neck part has properly sutured.
I'm sorry. I think I'd know if my neck was on all the way.
As I said,
No, you wouldn't.
there's a possibility you might not.
I doubt you would.
She's just looking very confused at the two of them.
Let me put it to you simply. When hag magic is involved, Echo, things rarely go according to appearances.
So you used hag magic to bring me back.
I didn't use anything.
Then how the hell was I brought back if it wasn't you?
And
Did anything happen when you were, this is going to sound weird, dead, but anything you remember before coming back?
Not a lot.
well, not a lot is not nothing. What do you remember?
A lot of darkness.
All right. Well, remember when I said don't touch the magic artifact? There's a reason I said that. Captain, permission to proceed with the physical.
I have an objection to that. No. I don't want
Look at that,
you
looks at him
touching
like,
me.
why'd you have to say it like that? Well, why? Why'd you have to say it like that? Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush on it. We do need to get you checked out because you are coming off as undead. We found some really bad necromancy shit in the basement.
Let's just say the altar did it on its own.
And Grandpappy was next. If we didn't destroy it, it looks like.
Okay. I'm still not so sure I want him being the one to check me out.
What were you going to do specifically to check her out, Cannonball?
I mean, Captain, it's quite obvious. If she's undead, she has no pulse. It takes one finger to tell, really.
Okay, then I'll do it.
Move
Follow up.
backwards. I'm sorry, I can take my own damn pulse. I don't know why y'all need to feel the need to do it.
Don't think you can.
That, and let's be honest. Please don't take this the wrong way, Pearl, but when necromancy magic is at stake, well, I'm double-checking everything.
Well, if anyone's gonna check Echo, I
No.
think they need Echo's permission.
I don't know why you're telling Pearl that. Shouldn't you be apologizing to me that you're doing something without my permission?
I'm not doing anything. The captain said they're checking.
And you're checking.
Yeah, you know, I think I'd rather
Me
go
too.
down to the clerics and have them check me out rather than...
Not you, Pearl.
Cannonball just misspoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Pearl-
making fun of him for it.
Clearly the
Pearl and
wrong
Echo were
target.
looking confused. We're good.
Pearl, we're doing an inspection.
Cannonball is zeroing in right now on double checking this.
Undead inspection.
And Echo's evasiveness to him is just confirming this more and more, and he's just like, now at that point he's starting to get suspicious there might be something else controlling Echo because he's paranoid.
Yeah, her whole aversion to Cannonball is simply the fact that it's Cannonball.
Yeah, which is why he's totally okay with Jenga doing it.
Oh, Jenka did offer.
I mean, you sound like you were pretty sure that I was undead, so what's with the double check? If you're so sure of it. Like, I'd really like to understand what's going on. Can you just give me the whole goddamn story rather than these bits and pieces?
We don't know the whole goddamn story. That's
What
why
do
we're
you
trying
know?
to put together the bits and pieces. I told you, you're undead.
Okay.
That's all we know. There's an
There's-
altar of pestilence down there. That is as far as we got. It was a
That has
living
something to do
altar.
with the hag?
Seems like hag magic, from what we uncovered. Is what
Aren't
Cannonball
altars
was
usually
able
to
get.
deities?
No. No, anyone can use them.
No, I meant aren't they usually for deities?
And where do you think
Who
hags
built-
get their powers, matey?
Who builds an altar to a hag? Wouldn't the altar be to a deity of pestilence?
I'm saying the
Altars
hags do.
are not used for prayer. They are also used for sacrifice. So no,
Yes, but
they're
to a
not
god.
gods. Oh no, there are plenty of creatures that see themselves above that.
Literally after the
There.
temple stuff we had to experience earlier. I think we're above caring whether it's a legitimate god or not that's receiving the prayers. The reality of it is there was something manufacturing undead. Who cares to whose benefit? And what I can tell you is I do know there is a hag going around performing such magics.
Okay, so there might be a hag involved. Interesting.
Within the last couple of weeks at least, I was able to see that the bodies were only a couple weeks old.
Disturbing part is this was under the Goldspire estate in the middle of a city.
Now, when I say it's 2 weeks old, I don't mean that it just started 2 weeks ago. It's just those bodies 2 weeks ago. Could be longer for all I know. Really
Wait,
hard
you're
to
talking
say
about the
when
bodies
it's
of the
rotting
servants?
flesh. Yes. Clearly they were going to be used.
Okay.
But by who and when? That's the mystery.
So you... I don't understand how this altar brought me back. If it was bringing people back, why didn't it bring back them?
Well, the flesh and the bodies that we fought are part of necromancy. Yes, healing is a form of necromancy, but so is undead. But now I'm starting to suspect that the orb turning into dust was actually because of you. Because of
I've
what
only
the
been
altar
saying that for the
represents.
past hour.
I thought that was established. I touched it, it turned to dust. He touched it, it didn't. I don't know why
Yeah.
it turned to dust for me, but it did.
Because of pestilence. Because of what the altar represents.
Do you think I'm just a walking disease? Is that what you're getting at? Like, I'm trying to understand your concern here.
That is a theory I have, yes. Though the testing that I have in mind is not really great unless we use it on something like animals.
I'm not following. What
If it has
testing?
that effect,
I don't want to be an
crazy.
experiment.
No. But if you're going to touch food and it turns to ash,
Well,
or
you have
touch
some food.
a crew member and turn them to ash or undead.
And yet you want to touch me.
I didn't say I wanted to touch you. I just said I was going to check. I have ways to check without touching.
Well, you want to bring a piece of food here, I'll touch it.
Look, Jenka's a pirate. You think she's got fresh stuff on her? It's
Doesn't
all like
matter if it's fresh or not.
cured meats and dried fruit, so it's
Food
probably
is
not the best
food.
thing to test.
Food is food.
You know what? We're in a freaking house. Let's go find like an apple or something. Let's go.
No, there's nothing in the kitchen.
There's nothing in this house.
There's nothing in the kitchen? Oh, son of
No,
a
the
bitch.
only way Codger was getting anything was stealing, and I told him to stop doing that. I don't know what he's gonna eat. He's gonna have to get a vegetable garden going if he has to eat. I don't know. Chickens, whatever.
You can
He's lived
touch
this long.
Codger.
I'm sure he's resourceful.
You want me to touch Codger? Poor Codger.
When you say Codger's name, he
not?
appears right next to you again. You called?
Oh, they want me to touch you to see if you get a disease for me.
That would be weird and quite literally impossible. Codger is immune to all mortal diseases.
But is this a mortal disease?
Codger doesn't know of immortal disease.
No.
So,
Necromancy hagmake as opposed to...
though, if lady has disease, would still be passed, but would quickly be subdued by Codger's body. Codger would know if he was diseased for a moment.
Interesting.
You still want me to catch Codger?
As he kind of just walks over and holds his hand out to Echo.
High five.
I'll take his hand. Give it a shake.
He shakes your hand and kind of looks at it. No disease. Very warm.
Satisfied?
No, but it'll do for now.
You say very warm?
Yeah, he said you were very warm. Like just letting everybody know that your hand was warm.
Odd for an undead. Wouldn't you say?
He kind of like squints his eyes at you.
They're claiming I'm undead.
Not undead.
Thank you.
She's undead.
No. Her heart beats. Blood moving through body. Warm to touch. That's not undead.
There are plenty of undead creatures out there that do the same thing. She's a living undead, not a corpse. There is a difference.
Codger knows his undead. That is no
Codger,
undead.
if she's not undead, but she seems undead, what is she? Do you know?
Well,
Is there something else?
if she seems undead but isn't undead, that means whoever said she's dead is wrong. Codger's eyes do not lie. Codger does not lie. lady is alive, not undead.
Chenka, check her again.
I will check again.
And as you check this time, there is no undead around you.
Yeah, no, she's suspicious as fuck.
Maybe it was just because she was recently dead.
And it just disappears like that, huh?
Or you gonna
Yeah,
ping off the
maybe.
body that was in the ground right next to me?
I'm sorry, what did you
Look,
say?
I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna ping off the body that was in the ground right next to me. Look, I don't know how these things work. All I know is I'm perfectly fine. Thank you. Don't appreciate the interrogation.
Chenka, I kind of leery to ask you to do this, but do you want to check me?
Jake had to go real fast. But would probably tell you the ping checked everyone around her.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break because it is getting to be around the 2-hour mark here.
So even if she, oh, I'm sorry. So even if she checks, Echo's, like,
If she checks Echo,
she's checking the
because
The radius.
she did like the little GPS ping for all the undead.
Okay.
No undead around her. So if like anybody had like anything that would make them seem undead, it would pop up. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break so we can get up, stretch our legs, all that fun stuff, and we will be right back.
Yeah, I just have like
So-
a little 3.5, maybe 4 foot wide.
We are back as I'm
I
doing
can't ask.
things completely out of order, and I realized that I had put it on the wrong screen. I am sorry. I apologize for that.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, this desk would
We
only
know what
maybe
we're doing.
would be, I would
I
say
don't
if
know what
it's
I
3 feet, I'd be surprised.
That's pretty tiny.
3 by something.
Ooh, thanks. Well,
yeah.
that is cool.
So that's fine. Just let me know when you're using it.
So I don't
Probably
care.
now.
Okay. Can you bring that up in the chat in Roll20?
Yep.
Right now, you don't detect anything.
So when Codger is talking about, I have heartbeat and everything else, am I feeling my heartbeat right now?
Yeah.
Or does it still feel like it doesn't?
No,
Okay.
you feel your heart just picking up again.
She's gonna write that off as just took a little bit for everything to kick in.
A bit of a side effect from being brought back
Dying.
to life.
Probably the manner in which I died. Decapitation. Must be hard to bring that back all at once. So do not get me wrong. I understand your guys' concerns and everything. But it'd be a lot better if you just came out and asked questions rather than this veiled thing you were trying to do. I don't need to be interrogated.
And I don't need your complaints, matey. Moving on.
I think on that note, I need to get a drink. She's going to turn and she's going to walk out of the estate. She is heading into town.
What time of day is it?
Around this time, it's getting to be later in the day. You're probably around 3, 4-ish.
Yeah, Echo's heading in town. She's going to go find the tavern her friend works at.
Okay. Where does your friend work? Is it more in the city, or is it closer by the docks?
Probably more in the city.
Okay.
It'd be at one of the inn tavern places.
What about the
Now, we were staying somewhere, though, in town, too, right?
you were staying at the Wyvern's Bounty.
Yes, okay.
So
Seems like a century ago.
Echo is going to head a little further into town to visit a pub that a friend of theirs works at. What are the rest of you going to be doing?
I did have a couple things I wanted to do in the city, but since it's getting pretty late in the day, I imagine things are starting to
wind down.
Close doors.
Shops are
leave that for-
closing, bars are opening.
Yeah, I'll leave
Well,
that stuff
in
for
that
tomorrow.
case,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head down to one of the like really shitty taverns near the docks that I usually frequent. Go track down my buddy Felix and just have some drinks with him.
Okay.
try not to land yourself in jail again.
No promises.
I know.
So
I
it's
try.
okay. Shara's got an in with the guards now.
Yeah, we're buddies.
Yeah, they're going to give you the best cell, the one with a view.
Yeah.
Muir, what are you going to be up to?
Smart Bun versus Dumb Bun. Dumb Bun wants to relax. And Dumb Bun is gonna win. Which means probably, oh god, it's probably 500,000 bars in the town.
Roughly. It is
Give or take.
it is the port capital of the Tricorn with, every ship and shipping company in existence,
Yeah, it's
there.
like, gee, we had 5 ship docks. That's 5 bars worth of people.
Exactly. There's one
I'm basically going to stroll until I find one that doesn't look like it is overly crowded.
Okay. What about Pearl?
Okay, Pearl wants to be the last one to leave the estate, so she's going to wait to see what Cannonball and Jenka do.
Okay. Cannonball. What do you plan for the night?
Back to the ship. Probably have a bit of grog and work on that worm grafting book.
Unfortunately, you are not going to be able to go back to the ship because it is currently being repaired in dry dock.
Huh. Didn't think I'd get that far. All right. I'm gonna need 2 seconds to think about it then.
Okay. And is Zoro here? Or is
Not
Zoro
currently.
doing the children? Okay.
He is fighting a child.
All right. So Pearl, what are you doing?
Okay, so when the others have left, I would like to be the last to leave just to make sure everybody has cleared the estate. Then I will go speak with Podger one more time.
Okay.
Podger.
Codger appears next to you.
Myself and my comrades are going to be heading back to town. So this is your chance to shine as the caretaker of the estate.
As caretaker, Codger should mention that a visitor has arrived for you.
Yes. Okay. And who has arrived?
The master's master. He is in the master's room. He kind of points back up to where Redding's office is at.
Why is he there? And how did he get there?
He comes and he goes as he pleases. Codger has no power over him. Codger can keep others out of the house. Codger cannot keep him out.
Does he come and go often?
Depends. He only shows up if there's something important.
I see.
But he has asked to speak to the new master.
Well, if he wants to speak to the new master, he can come and speak to the new master down here.
You're putting Codger in a very dangerous situation.
Why is that?
I would have to deliver that message to the master's master, and that can reflect poorly on Codger.
I see. Alrighty. I suppose I will have to go there then myself. Codger, there's one other thing. I have not encountered anyone quite like you before. And I've asked you not to steal things, and I don't know what you normally eat. I'm not sure I want to know what you normally eat, but are you able to grow things or raise things that would be suitable for you to eat here, since
Not
I've asked you not to steal things?
not here. Soil's cursed.
Soil's cursed. Oh, well,
It'll
that's
take quite a bit of cleansing in order to make the soil livable.
the soil is cursed.
The soil is cursed.
Like, what about? Okay, whoa. Is the whole house cursed?
It looks cursed.
The house?
Look, it kind of like points this thing. Yes, dust everywhere, paint peeling, very bad state of affairs. Yeah, if Codger's first time here, Codger would assume is cursed.
Okay, it's not your first time here, Contra. You've been here for a while. Has it always been like this?
Oh no, it used to be very beautiful until Old Master went nutso and killed the staff.
And now everything is cursed.
Oh, Codger doesn't know if the house is cursed. It just looks
Okay.
cursed.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, yeah, so if it's cursed, is cleaning this not going to be? I realize I'm keeping
Well, cleaning
Mel
will make
waiting,
it.
but Mel can wait for a moment. He didn't say when he wanted to speak with me.
Cleaning would make house look nice, though would not get rid of curse if there is curse. And
Okay.
given how many murders in house could be cursed.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, by the gods. You know, Codger, you have a lot of very useful information. It's unfortunate that Jenka doesn't want to get to know you better. However, okay. If it's cursed, I mean, I don't want you to be sort of, you know, there's a horrible thing that they make people do on ships if things go poorly, and they have them scrubbing the decks with extremely small brushes, and it goes nowhere. Okay, and that's not what my intention is here for you. I don't want to punish you in any way.
Oh, is not punishment. It's job.
Yes, but if it's not going to get better.
Oh, you can't clean curse out. You need priests. Clerics.
Did somebody say cleric?
So Cannonball's still there?
No, Cannonball would have left at this time because you said you waited until everybody left to do this.
Right, okay.
I mean, Codger could probably find Cannonball. Cannonball's not gone too far. Slow and limping
Yes,
as he is.
but then I would have to have Codger leave the estate, and I told him not to do that.
I mean,
because
that's your choice.
Yeah, well, Jenka, okay.
How about let Codger clean house first, make it presentable, and then bring clerics over to see if cursed.
That perhaps is, if that is a doable thing, let's go with that. Okay, you can't grow things in the soil. Could you raise like chickens or something that you could eat? Is that possible?
Chickens would die as soil is cursed.
Okay.
Codger knows how to eat. Codger's fine.
Okay, all right. I won't worry about that then. I just don't want theft added to the list of things that I stand to be potentially accused of as the lady of the manor, so to speak.
Codger very good at stealing. No witnesses.
Yes, but Codger, unfortunately, that it's not something I can condone, and I do not want to ask that anything be done that I cannot condone. I'm just not like my grandfather.
Don't let Master know about it. Understood.
Well, okay. I don't don't really like where this is going, but I do not want you adding starving. I appreciate you can't die, but I do not want you starving on top of everything else that we're doing
Codger
here.
has food. The Codger is okay. Now you
All right.
go speak to Master's master before Codger gets in trouble.
Well, you know, Codger, I have a feeling speaking with Master's master is going to get me into trouble. But okay.
Okay, so as you go up to see Mal, I will ask those of you going to a bar, are you looking to do anything in particular, or is it just catching up with friends and having a drink?
Just catching up with friends.
I mean, I have to find someone to curse. I'm sorry, disease.
There's Echo wandering through back alleys looking for some drunk guy.
I mean, and yeah, because if you're just having a drink, that's fine. I didn't know if there was any like RP aspect you wanted to do to it, or if it was just catching up with old friends and whatnot, just relaxing after God knows what.
Catching up, and before I go to bed, gotta find try and find some low life, someone who's just not great person overall to bestow disease on. Before turning in for the night, because yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make it a survival, as you're technically hunting someone.
That's fair. Oh, fuck you, dice. 11.
11. You find an individual kind of like stumbling down an alleyway, very drunkenly slurring their words and just screaming at the top of their lungs. Every other word seems to be a different expletive. Kind of looks a bit disheveled, kind of looks like, you know, he's put in a bit of a day's work. Low life? Maybe. Doesn't necessarily look like he belongs in the part of town that you're currently in.
Do I feel like I have like 24 hours, so I have until tomorrow evening to do someone, or if it has to be tonight?
You don't know.
She's not happy with it, but she's going to hope to God this person can, you know, survive.
Okay.
They have a chance. And she'll just, you know, she's perfected the art of looking drunk and walking like she's drunk. And she's just going to drunkenly stumble into him, apologize, and keep going. And during that process,
go ahead and give me a deception check.
My deception is a -1, so that's an 18.
He rolled a natural 1. So you kind of walk over and stumble and kind of just like touch him as you go by, using the bestow disease spell on him.
Poor guy.
You just touch him and walk on by.
I can't tell if it actually diseased him. Damn it.
Nope.
No, she's going to bed with the guilty conscience.
So as you do that, there's a sort of like this sick pleasure that kind of goes through you for as you feel the spell kind of transfer to through your hand into their body.
I was afraid of that. More things to feel guilty about.
Okay. Cannonball.
Yep.
Have you decided what you were going to do since you can't make it to the ship?
I'm probably gonna, unless ordered otherwise, stick by my captain for now.
Okay. So Pearl,
Yes.
you walk back up to Redding's room. And inside, as you open it, the room is now immaculate. There's no longer any sort of blood markings on the ground. It looks like a fresh coat of wallpaper has been put up. Everything is just in a very pristine red and gold theme. There's a large meeting table in the center of the room. Mal is sitting there at the end of one of the ends of the table. There's a bit of a dinner spread in front of him. Ah, Pearl. Perfect. I was hoping you'd be able to join me.
I thought you ate earlier.
Yes, but this is more a business custom than sustenance.
I see. I'm not particularly hungry, but what do you have to say?
Oh, I was just checking to see how you were enjoying the spark and the company of your new companion.
I don't think enjoy is quite the word I would use.
Oh, is Codger not living up to what you expect of him?
Codger is ridiculously a bright spot in all of this horrific situation.
Good. I was hoping that I didn't have to punish him.
Oh, heavens no. I think Codger, you know, he's trying his very best. Did he do this room?
No, this was me. Once I leave, it'll go back to the dilapidated mess that it was.
I've set him to cleaning and trying to make things somewhat right.
House could use a bit of a spit shine.
Now, I also suggested to him that perhaps he could start a garden and things, and he tells me that that's not possible.
Oh yes, the curse to soil. Just so you know, wasn't me. I don't deal in cursed plants. That's too much.
I see. Well, it's always good to specialize, isn't it? So, who's responsible for the curse?
That I can't tell you.
But
Never met him in my life.
You're a clever man. Surely.
Oh, very much so, but I've never met them in my life. All Codger tells me is a master had a conversation with an old woman talking about some miracle cure and asked him to plant these seeds in the soil that would grow an apple that would, well, cure any disease. Being so desperate to rid himself of his contract, your grandfather jumped at the offer and planted, or attempted to plant anyway, numerous trees on the property. But alas, unlike you, he does not have a green thumb.
Very bad pun.
There's no such thing as a good pun.
Well, and besides, I'm more of a aqua than green.
Anyway, he planted the seeds, the soil was cursed, and nothing can technically grow here anymore.
I see. Well, and this wasn't your doing.
Oh, no. If I wanted to have him curse the soil, I would have just Oh, well, I don't know. I've never had cursed soil on the agenda. No, normally I go after financials.
I see. Well, let's just say that my grandfather apparently expanded his interests somewhat, as far as I can tell.
As businessmen do.
But that's of no concern to you. I'm not going to. I see no reason to tell you anything that you don't need to know, unless, of course, you can't stop that, or I can't stop you from doing that.
Your
And apparently,
business is your business. I don't necessarily care one way or another what you share with me. I am not
Okay.
here to spy on you. Codger is not here to spy on you. I am mainly just checking in on an investment.
Okay. But you seem to still have a hold on Codger.
No, technically you have a hold on Codger.
Okay, so if I told Codger to take a 6-week vacation, would this be a problem?
Well, he would follow through, but that would cause great pain to the boy.
Why is that?
Codger gets joy from working.
Oh, okay.
He's quite the
Well,
busybody.
So I've noticed, and quite creative with outfits, apparently, but that's another matter entirely. No, that seems to be fine. At this point, as you probably would know, because you probably would ask him, and he probably would tell you, I just have him acting as a caretaker and cleaner for the mansion, and at present, he is the only staff. And it may go that way for some time. If the place is cursed, I'm not sure I even want to be here myself.
Why would the place be cursed?
You said the soil was cursed.
Well, the soil is cursed, yes, but last time I checked, the house itself is not made out of soil.
Okay, but
it looks
Codger
cursed. God, it looks cursed. But no, there's no curse on the house.
Okay, because Codger seemed to think that there might be, and I would not want him endlessly toiling to have the house look exactly the same as it did when he started, but...
No, I can pretty much guarantee that not a single plank of wood in this house is cursed. Just extremely dirty.
Well, we'll work on that. So, the dirt started, you're saying, after this old woman and my grandfather visited, and...
The soil, yes. After he planted the seeds.
And the house just...
The house is just in disrepair because, well, your grandfather went a bit cuckoo and didn't trust anybody to be around him. Had Codger bring him all his meals, and he pretty much just lived in this room.
For how long?
Off and on, probably about the last 5 years. Every now and then he'd reach a bright spot in his life and he'd go out and socialize. But then, he'd slowly but surely, slink back in because he saw a shadow move.
Well, theoretically, we are all going to die eventually.
Oh, there's no theory to that. Everyone dies.
Or be killed. Yes, I heard it said that no one gets out alive, but there are some beings that are immortal.
True. Just not many things on this plane.
So, if this is all you want from me, I will be on my way then.
It is your house. Well, technically,
yes.
it's your brother's house, but...
Well, yes. Since you're here, I might as well get you to weigh in on this too then. So, what do you know of this big falling out between my brother and my grandfather, which seems to be something that the whole town but me knew about?
To be a fly on the wall for that conversation, which I was.
I'm sure you were.
Your grandfather was trying to get your young Gulliver to finally take control of the family business. Gulliver didn't see the point in trying to take over what he called a company fueled with blood, seemingly catching wind of a couple shady dealings your grandfather has had in the past couple years. The last thing I was told was he was on his way to meet a potential buyer for the company.
Oh,
The quicker he can liquidate assets or anything tied to this accursed family name, the better. He has other plans, other business plans. He doesn't much care for how your grandfather ran his business.
I see. Well, he is an excellent artisan, so I'm sure whatever he sets his mind to, he would do well.
Now, there are a few artisans who have their eye on him who would love to go into business for him.
Well, this may all turn out somewhat better than I had hoped.
Maybe. The artisans I speak of are a interesting bunch. You probably heard of them. The Ormond artisans. They're art dealers. Hey.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They wish to acquire your brother's talents.
Well, it's up to my brother to decide how he wishes to lead his life. But perhaps I can. Well, I mean, it's his, his company, really. If he can find someone to buy it, then that solves a whole lot of problems.
Oh, from what I hear, there is someone very interested in buying it. He almost jumped at the opportunity when he first offered it. I believe they would be meeting in Stormbreaker's Landing at some point to finalize the contracts.
Well, actually, Mel, this conversation has not been too bad. Rather better than our previous one, and I suspect a little more neutral than some of the ones that will come in the future, perhaps.
I have no animosity towards you. The way I see it, we are business partners.
Yes.
And I treat all my business partners with respect. If there is any information you need in the future, all you simply must do is call.
I see. Well, enjoy your supper then, and perhaps you can leave the leftovers for Codger. I don't think he's had a square meal in a while.
Well, he should have.
Well, he
The boy
apparently
does have access to his own galley.
Yes, and he stalks it by theft, which does not sit well with me.
It may not sit well with you, but that is common practice for imps.
Yes, well, and it probably didn't sit well with my brother either, I suspect.
Oh, your brother has no idea who Codger is. Him and Codger have never met.
Oh, okay. Well, at any rate, I, like my brother, I do not want to go down a route of deception and theft and those sorts of things. You may ultimately get my soul, but it's probably going to be pretty tasteless.
Oh, I don't know. From where I'm sitting, it already looks rather tasty.
Well, if you have no further business with me, as
None
I
at
say,
the moment.
enjoy your meal, and I will be going.
Have a pleasant evening.
And I can't resist. Are you having devil's food cake for dessert?
Again, this is all merely for show. I'm not eating any.
All right. Well, anyway.
He
Till our paths cross again.
He just gives like a very curt nod and just vanishes in a puff of flame. And as soon as he does, pretty much all of the lights in the room die out. you know, just all the beauty fades from the room, and it's just back to that, you know, peeled wallpaper, dust covered, dilapidated, blood on the floor room.
Pearl looks a little crestfallen. It was kind of a nice space, and she heads out.
Okay. So if
And she actually will go back to the Wyvern's Bounty.
Okay.
Because she wants to speak ultimately with our, oh, there's so many names, with our cook and
Bryant.
chef, Bryant. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
She just wishes to ask him a couple of things at some point.
Okay. So I will say that you will probably be able to ask him questions the next day.
Okay,
As
fair
when
enough.
you get to the bounty, he is not there.
Okay.
But as time goes on and you all enjoy your drink, pass diseases to people, the day comes to an end, and you all at some point in time either stumble back to the bounty or find some other place to sleep. Is there anybody who stayed anywhere other than the bounty?
Yes, I would have gone home for the
Okay.
night.
I would have ended up at Vala's in my apartment.
Okay. Does Mira come back to the bounty?
Yes.
Okay. So those of you who are at the bounty are once again greeted with a very wonderful smell, as Anastasia has already began to put out the morning spread for the breakfast buffet. Bryant is also down there, kind of already helping himself to the food. It's just him and his sister downstairs. There's no patrons or anything in today. He's kind of pretty much closed up shop to give the crew here their privacy. But as Muir and Pearl come down, kind of like smiles happily as he's like, well, we can set out anytime we wish. I don't know what benefactor you pleased, but all the ship's repairs were paid for, and the crew worked throughout the night to get it seaworthy.
I can't quite set out just yet.
Oh, I'm just saying, anytime we wish to set out, ship's ready.
I have to apparently sign some papers first. And I wanted to ask, Brian, if you happen to know a fair lawyer not employed by my grandfather who would be
A fair
available.
lawyer. That's a
I know
conundrum right
fair
there.
and lawyer don't really belong in the same sentence often, but we'll try.
Not employed by your well, I don't know who's employed by your grandfather. No, to be fair, don't really know many lawyers either. I mean, well, come to think of it, I've never dealt with a lawyer myself. I've seen this. I've seen the the suits that walked around your grandfather, his so-called lawyers and business partners. So I know of them, but personally, no. Sorry. Most lawyers don't really do much business with owners of taverns. So you know who may be able to help you? Carl. Our goblin friend, our new quartermaster. Man seems to have the wits about him of a businessman. He should be able to look through any contractual law and at least give some pointers.
Oh, that sounds good. So I will, I guess I could maybe head over there now and hope that the papers are ready. I could take him and Cannonball when you're ready. If you would come as well, please.
He goes, oh, it's worth a shot. If anything, he's probably on the ship with the others. I set the crew to begin stocking and supplying for wherever we're heading out next. We were in desperate need of a bit of supplies.
So is Jenka here? Theoretically, yes.
I think theoretically Jenka is here.
Okay. And is Cannonball here?
Cannonball said he was sticking with the captain.
Okay, because well then if I have to take them both with me to the office to sign the papers, I will, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it would be Cannonball, Jenka, myself, and Carl.
Okay.
And we'll head over to see if we can get these papers signed so we can leave.
Alrighty. Mira, what is your plan for today?
Oh, you're telling me I possibly theoretically have a free day?
Yeah. Weird.
Would there possibly be a way I could do athletics training today?
Oh, most definitely. There is more work to be done if you want to work at the shipyard, or you can, just run and leap across the roofs.
Shipyard work sounds like a really good deal for the day.
Okay.
Haven't done it in a while.
Just to get back to your roots and, get a bit of normalcy into your life.
It's like, oh man, a day filled with not murder? I'm in.
A day filled with not undead trying to kill us or eldritch beings being resurrected.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, yeah, so for that, you can, if you're going to put in the full 8 hours of work, you can go ahead and give me a D6 roll.
Yeah. That is a 2.
Okay, so that will be 1 tick on that clock.
That's fun.
All right. And you'll be paid, let's see, you'll be paid 10 gold today for your services.
That is even the better part.
Echo. You wake up, and that feel of pleasure is now gone. And you have this feeling that you need to spread disease again. But aside from that, you're fine.
Come by this, but the one person she would have wanted to turn to like that, she's mad at right now, so. She's going to, after saying goodbye to Vala, as she probably left for her shift at the tavern, she's going to climb up onto the roof of whatever building they rent, and she's going to sit down and do some meditation.
Okay.
First thing she wants to do is kind of go...
Oh, by the way, can I get a Constitution save from you?
Constitution save?
Yep.
Uh, 22.
Okay, you're good.
This is not going to end well for me.
Why would you think that?
We know how I go with saves. So the first thing she's going to do is just kind of go through, body, kind of starting with the toes and kind of do that mental exercise most people do in meditation where they focus on their body piece by piece.
I'll take your word for it.
She's going to kind of... She's just trying to check herself out to make sure everything feels whole and just after everyone's questioning everything that they told her yesterday, she just wants to make sure everything's on the up and up and seems to be functioning.
As far as you know, aside from the feel of needing to cast that spell again, you're fine and dandy.
Okay. Does she still feel that sense of strange, that sense of off?
Not today.
Okay.
That sense of strange and that sense of off sort of faded away the moment you touched that individual in the alleyway.
Okay. Well, then she's going to chalk that up to coming back from the dead.
Again, logical thought.
You can chalk a lot up to that.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So once she's done, doing her own check on herself, she will actually probably head... Where does she want to go? She probably wants to get some work in, do something not like they've been dealing with the past few days. So it's unfortunately probably also the shipyard for her, because she does carpenter work.
Okay, so you're going to put in a day's work for carpentry?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to put in the time to do that, and you can use if you have a carpentry clock, you can roll on it. You can go ahead and do another d6.
3.
3. Okay, so that will be 2. And you will be paid 10 gold as well.
10 gold? Awesome.
And then Shara.
Shara is first going to, before she leaves her home, she's going to slip some money into the family coffers.
Okay.
She's going to drop off 400 gold.
Not bad.
Yes, I think that's the most money she's ever seen in one place at any given time. And then she is headed over to the Sea Hunters Guild, is what I have in my notes here as the name of this place.
Okay.
Because she has a bounty to turn in.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about that.
Somebody took Betsy down.
Yep.
Okay. So you find yourself heading down to the Sea Hunters Guild, which is located almost right next door to the Church of Coateal.
So inside of this building, is there like a big bulletin board or anything that has like a bunch of wanted posters and stuff on it? Or
there's most definitely is inside. Like as you go to walk into the monster hunter, the Sea Monster Hunters Guild, there is like a large like megalodon mouth kind of like just positioned at the front of the building that acts as its doorway. And when like along the inside, you see like like a bulletin board on either side offering a vast amount of like smaller bounties. These are just like day-to-day postings that like somebody needs, some Sahagin taken care of, or like devilfish that are disrupting fishing expeditions that need to be taken care of. Just things that like anybody that looking to kill some time could easily take care of. But as you walk in, there is a very large bulletin board, and these have like the big bounties. And you do see a very old, very worn, very faded bounty for the dinosaur that is known as Betsy.
So I will take that poster down off of the bulletin board, and assuming there's like a a counter somewhere where people would go to either turn in bounties or, set their own bounties for whatever. I'll take it to that counter and put it down and kind of slide it across to whoever's there and just be like, I'd like to claim this, please.
Then on the other side is another Hikaru, like very very along in his years, like one of the elders, covered with a ton of scars, looks to have like the head of like a great white. Surprisingly enough, limbs are still intact. He's just covered in scars. He kind of looks at you and narrows his eyes for a moment and picks up the bounty and just like puts it like really close to his face to read. And he sets it down. And did you put the tooth up there as well?
Not yet. No.
You say you killed Betsy.
Yeah, that's right.
Girl, you are the 4th person this month to claim they have killed that dinosaur. I hope you have more than just your word to prove.
Oh, I've got proof. And I will turn to my duffel crab companion and the teeth. Give me the teeth.
And kind of sinks into the now duffel bag, comes out and just puts the giant tooth up on the counter.
Proof.
Oh, that is definitely a giant tooth. Give me a second. He kind of like whistles and surprisingly another possum person comes popping out. He's got like various lures and fishing rods kind of up on their back, just like a very large backpack. A tackle box on one hip, and it seems to have like this very strange looking ocular device over one eye. He kind of jumps up onto the counter. He's like, "Hey, what am I looking at?" And the older Hikaru is like, "It says that they took Betsy down. Big tooth, but that could have belonged to anything." Okay, let me see. Kind of walks over and kind of tips at it and sniffs and adjusts the ocular device and well, certainly Betsy's, boss. Tooth rather well intact too. Where'd you find this?
From the mouth of Betsy. I couldn't haul the whole body over, so I figured a tooth would, probably suffice. It's not like they were just gonna give it to me.
This is true. Well, he kind of pulls out a little book. Can you tell me where exactly you slew Betsy at? We can send a scouting party out to confirm the body.
I could, and I will, but I wouldn't advise sending anyone out that way.
Oh, it's all a matter of procedure here. Don't worry, we'll pay you handsomely for the tooth, but in order to claim the full bounty, we're going to need confirmation on the body.
Yeah, I'll show you on a map or something. But like you say, sending anyone out that way.
He just holds out his book, and you see there's like a very detailed map of Tremere. Like, okay, just point it out. I can send a team out right away.
I'll point to the approximate area that we were. I mean, I didn't have a map, so I don't know the exact location. Shara doesn't know the exact location, but she points to where she thinks that we were. But again, I mean, you send anyone out that way, and they're probably not coming back in one piece. There's a lot nastier things than Betsy out there.
Oh yes, we know. We have people go out there all the time, just not near Betsy's den.
Well, there's some new nasties, is the thing.
New nasties?
Yeah.
Better. New nasty means new bounty. New bounties mean new gear. Okay. Well, Can't give you the full bounty for Betsy here because, well, you've got her tooth. That being said, you've got her tooth. That's more than anybody has ever brought in, full bets. So what I can do is I can give you about 10% of the bounty now, and once we get confirmation that she's dead, we'll give you the rest.
Shit. Okay. So here's the thing. You're not gonna find a Betsy.
Okay, now I'm gonna need more of an explanation here.
So, do you know what a Zolotian is?
A Zolotian.
Yeah.
The old wives' tales, the symbols of doom upon ships, bringers of bad luck everywhere they walk, the doomsayers.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Well, I only know of stories that my grandmother has told me. This should be interesting.
Okay, so Betsy wasn't actually a giant Rex that commanded lightning on a whim. Betsy was actually a Zolotian.
So we should be looking for a Zolotian's body.
No. See, we got rid of the whole Betsy problem because the Zolotian was like cursed to be this rampaging Betsy. We got rid of the curse, so to speak. I don't know if it was actually a curse. I don't know how that shit works.
Do you have proof?
Betsy's teeth.
Well, yes, we will pay you handsomely for Betsy's teeth, but we're gonna need a Zolotian body, or we're gonna need some confirmation that the curse was broken, or whatever.
Well, the Zolotian, I mean, we like talked for a bit, and they didn't seem like a bad person, like all the stories made their kind out to be. So like we didn't just like kill them or anything. We just got rid of their whole Betsy problem.
So
I do have sort of some other proof. I mean, you can't have it, but I can show it to you to show you that I'm just like I'm not bullshitting you or anything.
as much as I want to believe you, I need confirmation. If this Zolotian is still alive, if the Zolotian can give me a recounting of what happened, I'd be happy to pay you for that.
I mean, they might.
Do you know where we can find this Zolotian?
I don't remember. Did they stay behind or did they come with us?
Scarin went with you guys. Scarin's on the ship.
Okay. Yeah, I could go ask them. Like, I know where they are, but I don't want to just be like, hey, everybody, there's a Zolotian right here, because, the stories and all. But I could go ask them, and if they're willing to come talk to you, and you guys are willing to just, like, be cool about it, then yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely something we could do.
Well, you piqued my interest. I've never seen a Zolotian myself, so...
Yeah, it was first time for me, too.
All right, well, do you want to cash in the tooth here, or...
You just hold on to it as, like, promise that I'll be back. And then when I come back, I'll either take the partial bounty if the Zolotian isn't with me, or I'll take the full bounty if the Zolotian is.
Kid, you're making it hell for me.
That's kind of what I do, yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. Have this taken back into our collection. I'm going to cut you a promissory note for the funds. And if you come back with a Zolotian, I'll give you the rest.
Yeah, okay.
Now, do you remember how much the bounty on Betsy was?
The bounty poster that we saw, that was not in Tidelight. I think we saw the poster initially in Echo Bay, and that one said 10,000. But I don't know if that's different depending on the location or not.
Okay. Okay, so he writes out a promissory note and hands it to you for 1,000 gold. Come back with a Zolotion, you'll get the other 9.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll probably see you later then.
Well, I'm hoping, but if not, at least we got one of Betsy's teeth.
Yeah, so actually, while I'm here, that whole, like, hunting down Betsy thing was actually kind of cool. And I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe I'm good at that sort of thing. Is there, like, you know, unofficial, like, working for the Sea Hunters Guild type of situation that maybe I could sign up for?
I'll tell you what, kid, you bring that Zolotion in, we'll get you a guild membership.
Nice. Okay. I'll see you later then. And she turns around, walks out, probably heads straight to the bounty, hoping that the rest of the crew is there.
Okay. And as you walk back to the bounty, and you're going through town and everything, I think it's at like this point that you're like, you would probably run into Pearl and the others as they're heading towards the keep or the guards barracks to sign the paperwork. But before we go ahead and go to that, because we have a couple people away at the moment, I don't want to skip over what they wanted to take care of the previous night and throughout the day. So we will go ahead and call it here for this week. And then when we get together the next time around, we will see what Jenka and Cannonball took care of the previous night and get through their day activities. And then we'll go on to the signing of the paperwork for the guards. But I'm going to close all that down. That will do it for us tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning on in. If this is your first time here, this is not the only show that we do. Upcoming this Saturday is another episode of Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse game run by Azarin. On the alternating Saturday, we have Withered Waste, which is a 5th edition magical post-apocalyptic game that I run. And then on Monday, we're going to have another episode of Destiny Forged, which is our longest running show on this channel. We're currently in our 3rd campaign. And then coming up on this Tuesday will be another episode of Tales of the Outer Rim, which is a Star Wars game that Tiltbot runs. And then Thursday, because it is on the alternating Thursday, tonight you have us here on Tricorn Isles. Next Thursday, we will have another episode of Mass Effect Horizons, which is a 5th edition mod based in the Mass Effect world run by Zorro. And then we will come back on the next Saturday to do Withered Wastes. And then on the last Saturday of every month, we have a new show that we spun up using a modified version of the Kids on Bikes system, which is based off of the comics of old, you know, the old X-Men cartoons and everything, but with a little bit of a high school twist to it in a show we called Would Be Heroes. But for now, we are heading on out. Thank you everyone for tuning on in, and we will catch you later.